I've rigged the ceiling with ultraviolet lights. If there are any of you out there, I suggest you stand and show yourselves.
I'm a vampire.
Hit the lights.
And a 1, and a 2. Hey, hi, welcome to Rage Ranting again, Tim, Christopher, and we're going to be reviewing 30 Days of Night, Dark Days on this very special post-Halloween episode. Still in my mother-in-law's fucking basement. Hopefully I'll get to move out one day.
But yeah, Dark Days, the budget was so low that I don't know if it's on any streaming service. So the movie doesn't exist. You can go find it, go try to watch it, but I don't recommend it.
I was lucky enough to find it in Savers on the used shelf for like $2.
In the orphanage of movies.
Yeah, but anyway,
I think the only entertainment value I got from this film was making fun of how bad it was the entire time.
I don't know if it was bad. It was just bland.
It's not Madam Web bad.
No.
But it's like, it's getting close.
Really?
Like,
I didn't think it was that bad.
On terms of like how bad it was, I would give Madam Web a solid like 2 or 3, right? Yeah. This, I would say it's just a level above that, where it's like 4, maybe 5 is being generous. I feel like 5 is being way too generous.
Before we continue on, you fucked up last time.
How?
The camera. You let it slip to the side.
That wasn't me. That was you. You knocked over the camera right after I told you to be careful of the camera. I was like, be careful of the camera, the wires.
You gotta learn your tech. I tripped over, but then he didn't fucking fix it. Alright, whatever. Chuck, you prick. I'm assuming you had something to do with this movie because it was on your level of fucking filmmaking, you piece of shit. By the way, I love your mom. You weren't entertained by the movie.
I was entertained. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was hilarious. It was pretty bad.
I was entertained in the vein of I'm sitting in my chair, watching the screen with moving parts, watching shit happen. At least I wasn't just sitting there looking at the wall.
It was a movie.
Yeah,
it certainly was a movie.
It was a movie with no budget. I mean, I don't know how the hell it got made. Even though I didn't like it as much as I liked before, the first one had so much atmosphere and everything going for it. This one, like, said, no, we don't have the budget for anything. I think the whole budget went into the vampires burning up.
The entire movie was filmed in somebody's back alley. In the
don't forget the Alaska scene was filmed on a green screen. Alaska in the background. I don't know where she was digging in a hole.
Yeah, it cuts back to her burying her husband's dead body. You could easily tell she wasn't actually in Alaska. It was a green screen of Alaska. Like, any sort of flashback or anything, I think I saw the exact same shot of the town at least 4 times. Oh. Every time she thought of her town, it played the exact same zoom-in shot.
I think those are the only scenes they could afford to get, or they stole them. Would you like an hors d'oeuvre?
I'll have a cheese it.
But yeah, entertainment, it's not there. It was something if you were back in the day watching the Sci-Fi Channel on a rainy afternoon. Ain't got nothing to do. Might as well sit here and veg out and watch this.
The background noise.
Yeah, anyway. We're not very excited about this movie. We did not enjoy this movie very much. The acting in the movie, what'd you think about it?
I wouldn't even consider this acting. They were just there.
The best actor and the worst actor, all rolled up into one ball, is the detective.
He goes, the fakest cough I have ever heard.
Everyone else was just there to make a paycheck. He thought he was in some great movie where he was overacting. I couldn't stand him, but I think he was the most entertaining one at the same time. What are the stereotypes to be a rough and down cop with like a disease where you're sickly and...
I don't have much time left.
Long tan trench coat with the collar up, hat, and the cough when acting tough. That was his whole role.
Yeah, I guess the whole reason... So he was working with the vampires to take out the main actor lady. I guess he didn't have much time left to live. He had cancer or something, so he was like obviously coughing the entire time. It was such like an exaggerated cough, and that's why he was working with the vampires, because they were going to turn him into a vampire. He doesn't have to worry about his cancer anymore. He played it off.
What a great cop.
Excellently. He was a genius.
He was a great man.
Yeah, he was amazing.
What about main characters?
She sucked.
She's the survivor from the last movie. They obviously recast.
She doesn't even look like the...
No.
The only similarity is she's a woman, and she has... The first movie, she had, like, brown hair. She had blonde hair in this movie. Unless she fucking dyed it.
I don't really care that they did that.
She
could have had a little more character. She had no character development at all. Then she has this other guy that she's a hunter with. Once again, bland, 2D. He had really no character arc other than to bang her later on in the movie.
I know, the director was just itching to take somebody's shirt off. You could tell he was like, okay, I need to take a woman's shirt off.
That was the whole point of their arc, so to get them into a soft porn type of scenario.
The second lady in the group, she was atrocious. Her character made no sense. She's hard set on hunting down these vampires, and then she's complaining that she has to hunt the vampires the entire movie. But why are you there? I don't understand her motive or what the hell she was doing.
I don't get it. By the way, the whole group of hunters act like they've never hunted vampires before.
They
in
had
their
no
lives.
clue what they were doing.
They're supposedly seasoned. They haven't done shit.
Their clothes, by the way,
Yeah.
it looks like whatever they were wearing in the movie was just the clothes they showed up on set with. They had no costume design whatsoever.
Hey, yeah. What do you want me to wear? What do you want me to wear on the set? What are you wearing? Just a shirt and some pants. Oh, that's fine. Come on in.
Yeah,
Come on in.
they're just wearing their Sunday fit.
But anyway,
Shit about.
yeah, the third lady, and like they want you to think about her arc, how she was like drinking all the time. Maybe she was an alcoholic.
I have no clue.
She starts out as this tough bitch trying to tell the main character what to do.
I thought she was gonna die at the beginning when the first vampire pulled up, when she went outside to smoke or whatever.
Yeah, they were all 2D characters.
They're all
but-
super lame.
But
I don't give a
her at least had a little bit of a thing.
shit. Yeah.
The black guy obviously dies first.
I'm telling you, man, the black guy always dies first.
He
He's
didn't.
definitely a
There was
victim.
nothing to him, you know.
Definitely a victim.
Yeah,
of,
he was the main vampire.
Oh.
He was like he wasn't
Dane or Dale or
Dane.
whatever, something.
Was it Dane or Dale? I don't.
I
know.
don't know.
Well-
I don't give a shit enough.
Neither do I. I don't give a shit about Chuck Norris either. You prick. The main vampires. What do you think of them? The woman. Her name is Lilith in the movie.
She was ass. They were all ass.
There was one good scene with her where she's like standing up naked, like in a tub of blood, where she pulls this guy's tooth out. That was probably the best scene in the whole movie. No. And then you got the other vampires. They're non-distinguishable from any other vampire in the movie. They so like they put gray makeup on.
I know the budget
Black
was so
contacts.
the budget was so bad they couldn't even get the original design of the vampires. They just looked like they
Yeah,
had
they all look the
Halloween teeth, like the
Yeah.
slip-on Halloween teeth.
same. Oh my god! First, when I watched this, I've only seen this a few times. I'm like, when I first watched, I'm like, like any other movie, when you're watching it for the first time, you don't know what to expect. And like your first viewing of the movie is kind of like, pretty good. This is like my third or fourth time watching it. I'm just realizing what.
Letting the dust settle.
Yeah. Because I was so excited that they came out with a sequel for this. It's really not worth it.
They didn't
Unless
hit the
it's on
ball on
TV
this
or something, you know? I wish there was more to talk about with this movie. Like, we're going to be talking about the score, but this movie's like a big fat fucking nothing burger.
It's empty.
Like,
It's
when I'm
nothing.
banging fucking Chuck Norris's mom out back, and like nobody's paying attention. It's a big fucking nothing burger. Chuck, you prick. What's the matter? Choke's getting old. What do you think about the sound or the non-existent sound in this?
There are a
thing?
few like generic stock sound effects I've heard in like a million games, a million movies. Other than that, there's
I think I like the score a little more than you did. I was listening to the score in this thing, same shit. Horror movie music, that's about it. You're not gonna remember it. We both agree it sucked.
a lot of horror movies have really good like music and sound effects in the background, just like creepy like ambience, like violins
Yeah.
or just some screeching noise. This shit didn't have anything.
It was
Anything. I'm surprised they didn't put like some fucking romantic music when they started having sex. Because that seemed to be like the primary goal of this movie was just to take somebody's shirt off.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
softcore porn. You knew that was gonna happen.
Exactly, because there was like
There's no point of that.
there were 2 more instances of naked people in this movie than there was in the first one because the first one had 0. The first
didn't
one
even know-
it was completely like
I
it
didn't
actually
think
focused.
about that.
It actually focused what was going on in the first one. This one, just, I
I
don't
think the
know.
director had a hat on the whole time.
Completely different director for this one, so I don't
Oh my god.
know.
I didn't even realize that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Just the director had a hat on through the whole thing, so he didn't want to incorporate nudity into the movie. Agree that the score sucked. Moving on, we are going to be talking about the cinematography, or their lack of cinematography. That tells you everything you need to know.
Like you could tell the only time they gave a shit about what was on camera was when
Someone
she took
was-
when she took her clothes off and they made sure they zoom in on exactly what they want you to see. So
Yeah.
they're like, okay, we need them to know exactly what's going on.
Those
here.
shots were beautiful.
I think I can like the scene is like 2 minutes. It's such a waste of time.
Are we watching a horror movie, an action movie, or softcore porn? What the hell are we watching?
I don't care what movie it is. Like that shit is so useless. It's just like
Yeah.
such a waste of screen time. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Was that 2 minutes? I think it was 2
It
minutes.
was just because they were talking and then they started.
By the
not
way,
even
you
care.
knew that was coming. But yeah, the color grading in this movie, you could film this shit with your camera driving around. There were a couple of small parts when they were in the alley. They used a lot of browns, which I didn't mind. I thought those were kind of cool. Those were kind of ominous.
I wouldn't give them credit for that. I think that's honestly...
I'm being generous.
I know, but I think that's honestly just the musky air of LA, just like deteriorating the camera.
When they were when they were like hanging on the like railing in the alley, the brown.
That might honestly just
I think they did that by accident.
That was probably the air pollution in LA.
We were talking about the color grading and the cinematography. The last movie had really nice shots. This one had zero.
The first movie had some
personality.
really, the first one had some really creative shots of the town in Alaska and stuff. They used the snow like in a really creative way to like cut certain parts of the screen off, and they actually filmed it in Alaska in the first movie. This one, they were just running around LA doing their thing. The budget of this movie probably came from the money it cost to get permits for the filming locations.
The movie came out 2010, so
the same year.
I don't
Twilight
think they didn't have iPhone. They couldn't film that on a camera.
Phone cameras were dog shit at that point.
Well, they still probably filmed it on that.
Yeah, exactly. Like a Nokia or a Blueberry or something, or Blackberry, whatever it's called.
Cinematography in this movie, you could have filmed it on your phone nowadays. There was nothing there. And I'm being generous. There were a couple of scenes in the alley where it was dark and brown. I like that.
Like musky looking.
Yeah. That's about it.
They chose a good atmosphere.
Oh, yeah. It's just, God.
They portrayed LA perfectly. It looks like shit.
Well, I've never been there. Is that what it looks like?
It's just a bunch of homeless people. There's a bunch of homeless people and trash.
You've been to LA. I'm like, did you see Chuck anywhere around, like sitting around homeless?
Maybe in one of the tents on the side of the road.
Chuck, you out there? Are you out there? But anyway, so we both agreed.
Cinematography sucked.
Sucked.
Yeah, they didn't exist. They didn't give a shit. The only time they gave a shit about the cinematography or where the camera was pointing.
Get the hat. Look at the hat.
It's when they're fondling each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cinematography existed solely for the sex scene. That's it. All right, we're moving on to overall thoughts of the movie. So, did you think it was scary?
No.
No, there was like...
There were like zero scary parts.
I think they went for more of an action type movie thing.
Horror movies always do that. Every time there's a horror movie ever, they'll make the first one like good, and it's scary occasionally. And then every time they make a sequel or a reboot or whatever, it's always horror movie turned action flick. That's what they did to Scream. Scream is not a horror franchise anymore. No. It's just like a bunch of people running around fighting and shit. Same thing with Halloween. They don't make Friday the 13th movies anymore, so I can't say anything about that. But like horror movies always turn into some sort of action drama.
That was this movie in a nutshell. Did you like anything about the movie at all?
I liked how bad it was because it helped me make fun of it more, because like there's this gray area, and some movies fall in that gray area where it's just like it's not super bad and it's not like good at all. It's not fun to watch either way because it's not, you can't make fun of it because it's like not that bad. So it's just like this one falls right under that, so it is like bad to where I can make fun of it. So that's where I had some fun watching it. But that's the only that's it.
For me, I'd say the same thing. I didn't make fun of it. There was absolutely nothing to laugh at in this movie. I'm like, was there?
No, everybody was trying to be too serious and shit. Everybody was taking this role way too seriously.
I mean, at least you had the man with dementia in the last one. This one had, like, other than the guy coughing because he had cancer, there was nothing to, like, laugh at, really. The movie was there. I was watching shit move on the TV screen. It was registering in my eyeballs.
Your
like,
cerebral cortex.
I mean, before the movie was, it was pretty good. Now I'm watching it again. I'm like, this is horrible. What was I thinking?
This movie sucks balls.
Jesus Christ. One point, there is like one thing they did a little bit better, at least I thought in the movie, the story. It wasn't just randomly running around in a town trying to survive. There was a tiny little plot. So we have to stop the main vampire from taking her ship and going to another town in Alaska.
I could appreciate like the effort they tried to put in to make it like a coherent story, but like the execution was god awful. Some Hellboy and Blade inspiration.
That reminds me of that.
With Monster turned good, and then they're working with the like in Hellboy and shit. I haven't read the comics.
Neither I've never read this comic. I didn't know it was a comic book before. I'm a comic book nerd, but not the biggest one. I know a little bit. I have knowledge. This one, the rating. What would you rate this movie? You've never seen it before.
Usually, I don't like rating movies, but this movie is not getting anything higher than a 4. A 4 is still being generous. I'll give it a 4 though. I'll give it a solid 4, right on the nose.
Just let everyone everyone know, I do a back in the day review and a today review. Some of these movies I haven't watched. I think I might have like a couple in the wrap.
You just have them.
But the ones I have watched, I'm gonna do it back in the day and today. This one I've watched maybe less than the last one. I watched this one maybe like 2 or 3 times. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I like this a little better than the last one, the first one back in the day. I like this one. I think I would have given this an 8.5. For some reason, I would have given this an 8.5
Just
if I
for like
rated
the excitement factor.
yeah, and today, obviously over time you rewatch things, you see how bad or good they really are. This one today, I'm not going to go as low as a 4. Probably give it a 5. First one a 7, this one a 5.
That's fair.
I mean, God, like I said, at least it has a story going for it, you know? Hello! It's the little woman. So that wraps up our generous review for this wonderful movie.
A spectacular movie.
What's the next movie we're going to be reviewing?
The 300.
The 300. We're going to be going with Zack Snyder's 300 on the next one. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully we'll have a surprise guest. No?
We'll see.
See ya.
Oh, it didn't record.
Are you fucking kidding?
I'm kidding, it did. It did. I'm fucking...